welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I will be showing you some of the digital goodness that is coming to MäksēLife for 2023, featuring not only the redesigned 2023 MäksēLife planner, but also some new notebooks and daily intention and daily reflection and gratitude journals. These items were gifted to me in order for my honest feedback. So of course, I will be giving you my honest feedback as we flip through those products. So if you're interested in seeing the new digital goodness coming from MäksēLife for 2023, keep on watching. First up, I'm going to be digging into the redesigned digital planner. If you're not familiar with MäksēLife digital planners, one of the awesome things to know is that when you purchase a digital planner from MäksēLife, you receive a digital copy of all of the covers that they are releasing planners with that year as digital covers. So here you'll see I have the watercolor quote as my cover for 2023, but you actually get a digital version of all of them so you can change them throughout the year. You're not limited to just one cover. So we're going to start digging into this digital planner, and the first thing I see here is on the left page you have that redesigned Maxi stripe. So in previous years it was a diagonal gray stripe, and you can see here it's still the Maxi gray, it's still the stripe, but now we have this vertical stripe. It kind of has some breaking points here and there. I personally really like this design a lot more. It just feels more modern. I think that they did a really great job overall with redesigning everything this year, and I'll show you some of those nuances as we flip through. On the right, we have the standard cover page, Maxi logo 2023, and a place to jot down contact info in case you ever lose your planner. So even though this is a digital planner, I will 100% admit I still write my name. That's the first thing I do in my digital planner, just as I would in my paper planner, just to kind of, break into, here's a new planner, a new year, we're starting fresh. So you still have that option in the digital planner. Moving on, we have the Connect page. So it has the MäksēLife logo on the left, including all of the places you can connect to not only MäksēLife, but others that are in the MäksēLife group and sharing their MäksēLife content, the Maxi fam as it is called. And then on the right, we do have that first letter from life coach, founder, and CEO of MäksēLife, Sierra Friend. It's a perfect way to break into a new MäksēLife planner with just a recap of what Maxi is and what this company and this planner kind of represents and stands for. Now, as I move on, I actually wanted to compare this 2023 version to the 2022 version. So if I hold these side by side, a couple of things you'll notice is in the 2023 version on the left, the planner is more of a taupey, silvery background, whereas on the 2022 version on the right, that is more of a bluish gray background. The tabs appear to be very similar, if not the exact same in color, but comparing this 2023 kind of welcome page and landing page to the previous year 2022 landing page, you'll notice the prior year, it's a bit more grayscale. There's not that much as far as, connecting to the MäksēLife or the Maxi fam community, and we don't have that colorful header as we do here on this year's version. So that's just a quick compare of those two pages there, and one of the first differences I noticed. So moving on, again, this is back in the brand new 2023 version. So right after that landing page and that letter from Sierra, we have a table of contents and we have the brand new color palette. Table of contents is new as well, including at the very bottom, something that I was surprised by and absolutely love is the note pages at the end of the digital planner are actually a little sampling of the digital notebook. You get 4 different note paper templates. You get a blank, a dot grid, a regular grid, and then a lined note page. And I'll show you that when we get to the end. You also have that table of contents at the top there on the left, and these are all hyperlinked. For example, if I click on annual goals, it's going to bring me to my annual goals. This entire digital planner is hyperlinked, so you don't have to just swipe back and forth between pages. You can actually, go to the table of contents, click on the link you want, go to a specific month, go into that month's specific monthly goals, go into that monthly view and click on a week, for example. So it's so easy to navigate instead of just swiping through all of the pages that come in that digital planner. On the right side, this is the brand new color palette for 2023. If you're familiar with MäksēLife, you probably know and have heard of the different areas of life, or maybe even the life compass and the life compass assessment. When you're planning in a MäksēLife, goals are categorized into 8 different categories. So you have your personal category, fun and recreation, work and learning, etc. This year, the colors are different. So each area of life has the same color. For example, personal is still yellow, but it is a different yellow. So all of the colors were kind of redesigned and reconfigured. And I actually have, if we move on here, this is a side-by-side comparison. So all of the circles on the left are the previous MäksēLife colors, and all of the squares on the right are the brand new 2023 MäksēLife colors. So comparing this yellow here from last year to this yellow here, you can see this year's yellow is a little bit more robust. It's a little bit more like orangey undertone, mustardy, I would say. And then this was the lighter version last year, and this is the lighter version now. Another major difference I've seen is the orange from last year with more of a like burnt orange kind of undertone, and this year it's a little peachier. And then here are the oranges on the lighter side to compare. Same thing with the purple. The purple from before versus the purple now. The purple now is definitely a darker purple. It's a little bit more blue, I would say. And the lighter purple is actually more lilac compared to this purple here. So these are 2022. And these are the new 2023 colors. So after that, we have the getting started pages and the steps. Something, I do have another comparison to show you in just a minute, but something to point out here is the pages are redesigned. And for 2023, they include these vertical elements, these side boxes or columns, instead of being more paragraph laid out as they were in previous years. And like I said, I do have an example of that in just a second, but these pages were redesigned from last year. Moving on, we do have the compass assessment. And again, we're using this new redesign. So we have these columns and these boxes to kind of walk you through what those steps are, what the compass assessment is. So here is the new 2023 layout. And then in comparison, here is the old 2022 layout. So you'll see in 2022, it's more in a paragraph format. You have on the left there, establishing a starting point followed by a paragraph, whereas now in 2023, you have establishing a starting point kind of in this left column, and then this kind of paragraph in this box on the right. So that is just some comparison of the new design elements between 2022 and 2023. Moving on is the assessment scoring. So these are some questions in each area of life to help you get a baseline of where you may score in each area of life. This is really helpful because it kind of helps you get those initial numbers. So when you're completing the life compass, you're going to assign yourself a number from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest of satisfaction in each area of life. Using this, this is the old one. So when you're completing the life compass, you're actually going to assign yourself a number 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, of satisfaction in each area of life to kind of score yourself in each area of life. You're going to use the questions here in the assessment scoring to help you get a baseline understanding of where you're at in each area. This is really helpful if you've never completed a life assessment before, or as a refresher. Sometimes maybe like midway through the year, I'll come back to these questions just to kind of see how I'm feeling in each area, you know, according to these questions, and really understand, you know, my scores, and if my understanding of each category and each area of life is correct. After that, we have the intentions page. So this is your intentions for the year. There's some good general questions here, such as what could I use more of in my life this coming year? What could I use less of? This year I will be more. This year I will do less. I will let go of. I will embrace. And then there's an area at the bottom there on the left for coming up with a word of the year, and then an area after that to kind of describe what that word means and why that word may embrace, you know, what you're looking to achieve in that coming year. On the right, we start getting into our goal setting. So there is some information there on, you know, how to set goals over the next couple pages. And even being familiar with MäksēLife, I refer back to these pages every year just to kind of refresh myself on, you know, the best way to write goals, the 3 different types of goals, and then, you know, what would really constitute an annual goal versus a monthly goal, and how I can even take those and break them down even smaller into my weekly actions. If you're not familiar with MäksēLife, definitely spend some time on these initial pages to kind of like do that prep work for the rest of the year. And like, I still refer back to them every year. So even if you are familiar with MäksēLife, I still recommend going through these initial pages here to just refresh on, you know, what goals really mean. The word goal can be so scary, and I think these pages do a great job at breaking those big goals down into actionable items that you can do every week to kind of work up to them. Another thing to note on this page here is if you are not familiar with MäksēLife, they have conveniently laid out some things to consider in each area of life here. So for example, to me, I've had some issues where I couldn't figure out if a goal I was working towards was fun and recreation or if it was family and relationships, because I was doing fun things with family. So what category does that apply to? Well, this chart here on the left really kind of helps break down some things to consider in each area of life, and it'll help kind of determine, you know, okay, this is the goal I want to achieve, and this is actually a fun and recreation goal, or maybe it's a family and relationship goal, or maybe it's a personal goal. Then on the right, there's a dot grid page, and that's really just a blank space for listing or mind mapping ideas on what kind of goals you maybe want to write down for the following year. Then we get into annual goal pages. So each area of life has a half page for annual goals. So you actually have 4 pages for all 8 areas of life. And just doing a quick comparison here, this is what they looked like in 2022 on the left versus the new 2023 layout on the right. So you can see that in 2022, it was lined versus now in 2023 on the left, it is dot grid. So just keep that in mind. You still have the same kind of like amount of space for each category. You still have a focus line. So if there's a focus for the year in that area, you can write that down. And you still have that question at the bottom of how will my life improve by reaching these, you know, goals in this particular area. Main difference here is in previous years, we saw lined, and now in 2023, it is dot grid. Here are the rest of those goal pages for 2023. And then we get into our vision board. So there's just some blank pages here. I think the vision board, honestly, I way prefer doing it digitally than in paper. Digitally, I, just get clips of things, different pictures, maybe family pictures, and I can paste those in here, write things in, highlight. But these pages are really just meant to be fun and kind of bringing what your goals are to life visually. Then we have some goal setting quick tips, and then we have our first quote page there before getting into the first month. So here we have the first month. And again, it is hyperlinked, which is completely like, it's so awesome. So for example, I'm just going to go in here, and if I wanted to go to a different month, I could go to February. Oh, I want to go back to January. I can click on January. So say I wanted to go to the week of January 9th. I can click that in the calendar, and it's actually the 9 this year. Like in 2023 now, they redesigned this. So the number is actually the clickable link. Whereas if you're familiar with the 2022 digital planner, the whole, this whole like row would be the link. Like, so for example, you would click in like any of this area to get to that week. Whereas now you just click on the actual like numbered day. So that's really convenient, because I used to have issues sometimes putting in like stickers or writing stuff down and actually clicking on the day, and it would just like jump to that week because it was like hyperlinked. So having just the number be the link is super convenient. That's definitely a huge upgrade for 2023. Let's see here. So the sizing wise, everything looks pretty much the same. I mean, digitally, it's pretty easy to kind of like accommodate size changes if there are any, because you can like resize your stickers and, you know, your highlighting and stuff like that. So it looks pretty much the same here, but I did notice that there are some differences in siding in the actual weekly layout, and I will show you that in just a second. Right after the monthly layout, we have month-specific goals. So now these are January's goals. Instead of being 2 categories or 2 areas of life per page over 4 pages, you have 4 per page over 2 pages. So you have a little bit less room to write your goals, but these are monthly goals, right? So it wouldn't be as many goals as annually, or as in depth, right? So you have a little bit less space per area of life here as you do compared to annual, but everything is on 2 pages. At the top here, these monthly pages are specific to monthly goals. So you can actually get through all of your monthly goals pretty conveniently using these tabs up here. And you'll see, like, as I click on September, September lights up. As I click on October, October lights up. And it just jumps right to that month's monthly goals. And then if I go to like this tab, now these are all of the actual monthly views. One thing to note here is the monthly views are still colorful, right? So we have like the blue in January, the red in February, the green, the gray, yellow, the like teal color, and then the navy blue and the purple. And then the colors of the months coordinate too. So you'll see these are the red, these are the green, and so forth. After the monthly goals, we get into our first week. So we have the dot grid reflections page on the left. Not too much has changed there. There's still one of those every week. You can use it for reflections. You can answer those questions at the top. You can work on that coaching tip at the bottom. You can use it as a mind map. Sometimes I'll use this first page right after the monthly goals for the MäksēLife book club to write down what chapters I have to read by when. So you can use this page for pretty much anything. If you want to use it for reflections, you have the prompts at the top or the coaching tip at the bottom. Weekly actions on the right, pretty much laid out the same as last year. And I actually have a comparison of that. So here on the left is last year and what a weekly action would look like in the 2022 version. And then here is a weekly action from this 2023 version. You can kind of see those color differences, but there's the same number of lines, same size, it looks like. So not too much has changed outside of the colors. Then we get into our first weekly layout. So this is the vertical. The vertical is what I primarily use, but there is the horizontal layout as well available in digital if you're interested in that. Sometimes I combine them and use the vertical for planning and the horizontal for journaling or gratitude. But I might not do that this year because there are some surprises, like the new gratitude notebook that I'll be showing in a little bit. And I'll probably be using that instead of being, you know, vertical and horizontal. I'll probably stick to vertical and then use those gratitude notebooks to supplement that. But here we have the vertical layout, pretty standard, like same layout as before. We have like the 7 days, we have the little note section on the top right, we have habits on the bottom right. The gratitude section at the bottom of every day. Here is a side-by-side comparison. So again, on the left, we have 2022. On the right, we have the new 2023. So you can see there's a little bit of a color variation. So in the 2023 version, every page, if I'm not mistaken, is gray. So there is no color like there is previously. You can see here where December was more of a gray and then January was a blue. And then in the 2023 version, everything is that same gray color. Habits are still in the same spot. The lines look a little bit darker, I would say, in the 2023 version than in 2022. And that's the first week. So we have our reflection page on the left, weekly actions on the right, and we can jump right into the next week. One thing I did want to do during this review, though, is I'm going to actually copy one of my, so this is a designed week in my 2022 planner. And what I want to do is I want to see if everything fits the same. When I digitally plan, I usually make these templates and I make them elements so that I can just like paste in the same layout week after week. So what I want to do in the 2023 version is I was going to just pop in one of my elements, but to be completely honest with what it looks like, I just want to copy and paste it. So I am pasting in my 2022 layout into my 2023 layout. And it honestly does not look like it fits. So something about this digital planner for 2023, I think is like shorter in width, because you'll see like I can line up this first one to be centered, but if I zoom in, like those lines in my 2022 planner meet the edges of, like those boxes meet the edges of the line, whereas here they don't. There's that spacing, right? So this does not fit, and the spacing is off between the boxes. So this does not fit the same way. Just to be certain, what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up and I'm going to do a fresh paste of, so this is my like element that I've created so that every week I can kind of start off with the same template. And yeah, it doesn't fit. So there is definitely a sizing difference between the 2022 planner and the 2023 planner. So just keep that in mind. If you have any elements, you may need to adjust them, which is really no big deal. Like quick tutorial, I can just come in here and select this, move this over, and then all of them will like fit. So I can move all these boxes, no problem, but there's definitely a sizing difference. So my elements are gonna need to be readjusted between the 2022 and 2023 digital vertical layouts. So the last thing to show in the digital planner is going down here to the notes pages. So this is different. In 2022, it's just lined pages at the back. In 2023, we kind of have a sample of the digital notebook. So you have, if you go down to notes, you have these 16 different sections. And again, these are hyperlinked. So each section here coordinates with a section here at the top. And let's see here. They are color-coded for the different areas of life, but I think they're more to be used as like a table of contents. So you technically have like 16 different notebooks, it seems like, because you know, maybe I want to use this first notebook for Club Moxie. So then I go to this first notebook here and I have these line pages. But I also have up here using, oh, let me get out of here. Using these hyperlinks on the top right, I can also have dot grid, regular square grid, and aligned. So we have 1 through 4 are lined. And then I'm assuming 5 through 8 are dot grid. 9 through 10 are the square grid. 13 through 16 are blank. And then you have these additional 4 pages. So you could probably copy and paste these to make extras. So like if you wanted a line page in 1, or actually if you wanted a line page in 5, you could take this page, copy it and paste it and move it into the 5 section so that you could have lined and dot grid. So that's how this works, is there's 4 pages of each of the 4 types of layouts. And then the last thing to show is we do have a blank page here at the end for stickers. So you can import and paste any digital stickers into here and kind of keep them on this last page. And then you have that vertical line again at the end. And here's the back of my watercolor. So that's the 2023 Digital Vertical Planner from MäksēLife. The next thing that is available this year is there are MäksēLife digital notebooks. So these are brand new. It shares the same concept of what the digital planner has at the end, but you get way more pages. So moving past the cover page, first thing is you have a table of contents. There's 12 different sections, and those are tabbed as well and hyperlinked. So you can go to section 1, and that tab page actually has, like, if you remember from like a binder, like it actually has like a binder tab page where you can put a title here, describe what this section's about. And it has that for all 12 sections. And then within each section, so first is all the tabs. And then within each section, you can move any of the paper templates that are available. So there are actually, let's see here. Is it 20? Yeah, so there are 20 different layouts. So you have lined, 2-column lined, legal, Kanban board, dot grid, Cornell, 4 boxes, habit tracker, grid, Cornell grid, 2 lists, storyboard, blank, Cornell dot, 4 lists, a monthly plan, a spreadsheet, Cornell blank, 8 lists, and then actually sheet music. And what the intention is here is, like, say for example, I wanted 4 boxes, I could copy this page and move it to, like, for example, let me go here. Right, so I want these 4 boxes. I'm going to duplicate this page and I want to move it to within section 1. So I'm going to click and hold this, move it all the way up and move it into section 1, which is this yellow section. So now I can just click on section 1. I'm in section 1 and I have those 4 boxes. So you can make copies of all of the layouts as much as you want, move them to the different sections of the notebook and make a customized notebook. There is a colorful version, which is this version here, and then there is also a neutral version as well. And each digital notebook comes with a few different color covers, and the neutral version comes with a few different neutral colors. So here, for example, is one of the covers. The next thing I want to show you, so this is the Daily Intentions notepad in the digital version. If you haven't already taken a look at the Daily Intentions notebook in the paper version, I do have a review of that as well, so I can link that below. But this is the Daily Intentions notebook in the digital version. I'm going to move this into a vertical view to show you this. And this is just a hyperlinked version of that. So for example, it's kind of like a desk pad or like one of those like legal pad versions. So it kind of has this like teared paper look. It's really cute. It is also hyperlinked. So for every single day of the year, there is a daily intention page. You don't have to copy and paste. They're already built in and hyperlinked. So if I wanted to write my daily intentions for August 21st, there's a page for that. 22nd is the very next page. You know, June 11th, there's a page specifically for that. So it's all here. If you happen to miss a day, that's totally fine. You can go to the next one. You don't have to, worry about copying and pasting and making 365 pages. They're already here. They're all hyperlinked for you. if you're not familiar with the daily intentions notebook, so this is more, you know, I'm going to use it as a morning routine type of notebook. So it gives you an outlook for the day of how you're feeling, how you want to feel, what you need to do that day to feel good, a daily mantra or affirmation for the day, someone you want to connect with that day, what you can do in 15 minutes or less to have a positive impact on your day. So definitely something I'm going to use, you know, in the morning, maybe when I'm having my cup of coffee or during a morning break, just to kind of make sure I set my intention for that day and get done what I want to get done and achieve what I want to achieve. Now, there is the daily reflection and gratitude version, which is the evening version of that. So again, this is something to use in the evening to reflect on the day and kind of jot down gratitude for that day. Same torn paper, legal pad style. I think this is really cute. I really like how, you know, for a digital product, these kind of details really kind of set it apart and give it that just enhanced look. There's like a lot of thought. You can tell that goes into making these products based on those additional details. So we start with the cover page and then same thing, hyperlinked for every day. So you can go to any specific day that you're looking for and jot down your daily reflections and gratitude for that day. So again, evening type of routine here. So how you felt that day, what your energy level was, your mood, what you're grateful for, something that brought you joy, what your wins were, how you grew that day, what you're proud of yourself for, and what is something that you could do tomorrow to make tomorrow a good day. And that is a recap of the Digital 2023 Vertical Planner, the new MäksēLife Digital Notebooks, and the new MäksēLife Digital Daily Intention and Daily Reflection and Gratitude Notebooks. If you enjoyed watching this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you have not already and enjoyed my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. Go to the week of January 9th. I can click that in the calendar. Oh, there we go. So I'm all right. So you're actually like watching me fail here.